Hey guys, welcome to a Lahn PvE guide video. This is going to be a guide to help you grind efficiently with Lahn. Now Lahns are what I would consider a very efficient grinder, very quick, very fun to grind with. You never have to use pots, simply the most fun and fluid class for grinding. This is all in my opinion. Now, we're gonna go over the movement skills that I use while I'm grinding, some of the skills that are in my hotbar, but not all of them. Some important skills that you should use while you're grinding, and we're gonna go over the food buffs. So when you want to get to pack, you're gonna be using Bloody Stride into a Deadly Dance. That is what your pack to pack is gonna look like. So you're gonna be using those two skills to get to pack. Now some cases you may have to use other skills like Phoenix Chase, maybe Furious Chase, maybe you add a Spring Breeze to get to a pack depending on how far each pack is, but most of the time it's just going to be a Bloody Stride into a Deadly Dance. There are 5 skills that I personally use while I'm grinding. For you guys, it may be different. You guys may use more skills than I do, but these are the skills that I use currently. So I use Taunting Dignity, Annihilator, Rage Common, Flailing Blade, and Taunting Death. Now, Taunting Dignity is going to give you plus 100 WP every time you activate the skill, and it also draws attention of surrounding foes. This is going to help you grabbing all the enemies so that they're all close to you and you can just kill them all in like one Deadly Dance or something like that. And it's gonna look something like this. Annihilator is your attack speed buff, movement speed buff, and all resistance buff. Now it's gonna give you plus 20% attack speed, it's gonna give you plus 30% movement speed and 30% all resistances, and that's all going to last 30 seconds. And it's gonna look something like this. Now this is a very useful skill. You want to use it every time it comes off the cooldown because it gives you more movement speed and attack speed. It allows you to use your skills a lot quicker, and it allows you to get the pack a lot quicker as well. And the resistances is a bonus. I mean, you don't have to worry about your DP really when you're grinding, but yeah. Next skill is going to be your Rage Common. So at 100%, it's going to give you all AP plus 30 and attack speed, casting speed plus 25% for 60 seconds. And then at 200%, when you consume, it's going to give you all AP plus 60 and attack speed and a casting speed plus 40% for 60 seconds. And it's going to look something like this. I mean, it's really cool. It's almost like a buff, just like our Annihilator. It's going to give you, more AP and more attack speed, and this is going to make you use your skills a lot quicker and faster, and it's going to make you grind a lot quicker. So you always want to pop this skill. The next skill is going to be Flailing Blades. This is going to be our attack speed buff. It will give you plus 10% for 5 seconds. I mean, 5 seconds is not long, but it's still very useful, and it's gonna look something like this. And then Taunting Death is all AP plus 6 for 10 seconds, and it's gonna look something like that. Now, Taunting Death is a bound skill, so you're gonna want to use your dash to get out of it. You just want to use it so you can get the buff. So Taunting Death, Phantom Dance, just to get out of it so you can proceed to grind a lot quicker. We're going to go over the skills that I have on my hotbar and why I have them on my hotbar. Now I don't just use these skills for PvE, but I also use them in PvP. So Phoenix Chase, now for PS4 players, you guys will not have this skill. This is a bomb, but you will be able to get it at level 56 as soon as it drops. So yeah, Xbox players, you can get it at level 56. Now, why do I have this skill? Now, I use this skill as a way to get closer to each mob. I also add in a Furious Chase just to get to the mob a lot quicker. So you always want to you know, keep moving on to the next mob as quickly as possible. So Phoenix Chase, and then you use Furious Chase right after that, is a very useful way to get you a mob. Now Furious Chase is not on my hotbar, but I like to add it after I use Phoenix Chase if it does not cover the gap. The next skill is going to be Salpuri Purge. Now this skill is a high damaging skill for pre-awakening. Now you have to have this skill on your hotbar regardless of it just for PvE. It's a very good skill for PvP as well. So when you need to defend your spot, Salpuri Purge is going to be that skill to help you catch people off guard, because it refloats people. It knocks people down and it knocks the mobs down, I believe, and it's a really good skill to use against the mobs as well. The next skill is going to be Sacred Dance, which is also a pre-awakening skill. This is a very high damaging skill for pre-awakening. So Salpuri Purge and Sacred Dance, they're both very high damaging pre-awakening skills, and you want to have it on your hotbar. And I usually combine Salpuri Purge with the Sacred Dance to pick off the stragglers if the Salpuri Purge does not kill everything. This next skill is going to be Spring Breeze. Now this is also a gap closer. This is also part of my gap closing combo. I have a couple skills that I use as part of my gap closing combo. It's going to look something like this, or it's going to look something like I add in a Bloody Stride, and then Bloody Stride, or I start off with a Bloody Stride. So it's gonna look something like that. That's how I also gap close. It's optional to have Spring Breeze in your hotbar, but I usually like to have it because it's part of my skill set. So it's gonna look something like that. And for the last skill is going to be Rage Common. We talked about this in the important skill set. You need to have your Rage Absorption Common in your hotbar. Now I have it in my multi-menu, ring menu tab. So I have a lot of skills on my hotbar, but yeah. So those are all the skills. So what kind of food buffs should a Lahn use while they are grinding? Well, you should use Special Serendia Meal. Now all AP plus 5 is great, all AP plus 10 is great, and critical hit plus 1 is great, all for 110 minutes. Now these are all the buffs that a Lahn should ask for. You want the AP, you want the accuracy. The accuracy is great for a Lahn. We have the worst accuracy modifier there is. We have a low base accuracy, so accuracy is very important. I would go for Special Serendia Meal. I also use Smooth Milk Tea. This is for the combat experience plus 8%. You are always going to want to get experience while you're grinding, especially if you are not grinding for the experience. If there are other things that you are grinding for, say money, you can pop this buff on even though you're not focusing on the experience, you're still getting it. And it's always great to have this. There are other food buffs that, not food buff, but there's some church buff that you can use that will add more attack, and it will also add more health. So you can choose to use church buffs. I don't use them all the time because it's a hassle to go out to the priest or wherever the NPC is. It's a hassle to go out there and get it, and then go to your grind spot, and then once the church buff is gone, you walk all the way back there to reapply it. It's annoying to me personally, so I just use Serendia, Special Serendia Meal and Smooth Milk Tea. I also use the Villa Scroll buff. Now you have to have a tent to have this, and you also have to have a villa. So I'm gonna show you how to have a villa. So there's some places on the map here. I'm trying to find myself a villa. Okay, so this is example a villa. You need to get a villa. It's like 100 mil or 100,000 gold to get in. So you just buy that and you get the villa buff, and this gives you all AP plus 10, all DP plus 10, max HP plus 200, all resistances plus 10%, and ignore all resistances plus 5%. Now this is like super good. This is a very useful buff, like insanely useful. Imagine you have this buff on and someone comes into your rotation and you have this buff on, you're doing more damage to this person. He doesn't even know it. So if you have a food buff rotation and you have body enhancement on top of the food buff rotation you have going on, you're doing more damage, and it's going to be beneficial to you to have this buff while you're grinding. It is solid. I love this buff. It does cost, you know, a lot of gold, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to, you know, do all this damage so you can grind a lot faster and a lot efficiently. There's also this adventurous confidence. Now this is not something you would, you know, use while you're grinding, but if you're going to be focusing on this class, you might as well buy this adventurous confidence buff. This will give you extra AP against monsters plus 10 and skill experience plus 10%. Now that's amazing. You get experience. So for example, you're grinding polyforest and you add this buff on top of that, you're getting a lot more skill experience. So skill experience is very important if you're going to be focusing on a class, because some classes need to have 2,000 plus total skill points to max out their skills. So having this buff is always great to have while you're grinding. So we've gone over all the things that I use during my movement, all the skills that I have on my hotbar, and all the skills that I use frequently while I'm grinding, and all the food buffs that I used in my rotation. If you guys think this video helped you guys a lot, please do slap a like on the video. If you want to support my channel, please do subscribe. If you guys have any questions about anything that I missed, I am so happy to help you in the comment section down below. And I'm just gonna let the video run out for you guys while I'm grinding. If you guys have any more questions, please do let me know. And you guys have a great day.